Oh, crap. And I just realized after 10 minutes that my mic has been muted. So let's go ahead and start over here. Welcome to the stream. I do not have a GPS in this truck, so if you're watching at all, I was marking down my GPS locations. So I may go ahead and try and edit this afterwards. So we're going to start out in Linz, hop on the A1, go to the A9, and then go down to Graz. So I've got that written down on a piece of paper. We'll have to see how this goes. Okay, so that's first, second, third, and then fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on some headlights. Man. And the way out of here is going to be, my guess is straight ahead. Oh, right to the right. Okay, it's to the right there. Okay, let's go ahead and put some road under us. This is my trailer, very light but fairly long, so be different than what I'm used to hauling. I've been mostly hauling heavier loads recently, so this will definitely be a difference from that. Although I guess last time I streamed I was hauling pretty light ones. So I will be taking a right here. You know what, we're gonna start in Tulo. I was reading in the other day when I was trying to look up the Mercedes shift pattern. I looked in their manual and they were saying that, long trailer. Anyway, they were saying that you should start out in third gear, which if you go one high, one low, or one low, one high, two low, I would think would be what they're considering third gear there. And they said even with a full load of like 20 tons, they're designed to start off in third gear. Of course, something that was brought to my attention about this game by a video I watched today was that the amount of starting torque these have is nothing like what a real truck has. And the game froze. That's no good. Okay, well, I'm not holding a solid 60 frames, so we're gonna go ahead and go back into the game, and I'm gonna drop some of those settings that I turned up because I'm not holding solid frame rate. And we'll see if that if the game saved after I got that red light violation or if it did not. I'm hoping that it crap. I don't want to load that all up. I've been messing around with SoftTH and doing multiple screens, and so that's what you're seeing there is actually my multiple screen setup. If I launch it in 64-bit mode, then it goes back to the normal non-multi-screen. But I was trying to mess with the triple head setup. So that's what that is. But for streaming purposes, I feel like that's probably not the best because you don't see most of it as someone watching. So unless I put like a webcam behind my head and film it from that angle, the triple head doesn't add a whole lot. It was interesting to drive for me, but for somebody watching, I think it's less than ideal because I don't have to look around and whatnot, and so you don't see any oncoming cars, and from your point of view, it looks like I'm not doing any of that. So anyway, let's get this loaded back in. I went ahead and switched the ProMods and stuff, all my mod folder over to a faster SSD, and found out it doesn't really make a difference because the load time is CPU bound, not GPU bound. And I think what's happening is that it's unpacking all of the stuff, which takes time. And so despite putting it on a faster SSD, it was not really worth it. So that's too bad. I mean, I've got an MX200, which is my main drive, and then I have a 950 Pro, a Samsung 950 Pro that I, a 500 gig one that I've got all the games and stuff installed on to help with load time that way. Although, I mean, an SSD is probably an SSD on that front. Although I do notice with some games a little bit of a difference, especially if it's heavily modded. But what I'm noticing here is that, well, it didn't make the difference I hoped it would. It did free up some of my C drive, which was nice. Because I've got some 25 gigabytes worth of mods, I think, or something, but it didn't help nearly as much as I thought it was. So I thought it would on the load time. I was hoping that the load time was disk bound, not CPU bound. That does not seem to be the case. So it looks like we are back in. I'm going to go ahead and drop the internal scaling again. And we'll see where we are here because, well, it might have saved after I ran the red light there. And it looks like it did because I definitely have less money. $170 less, to be exact. So, you know what? Since I already ran the red light, I'm just going to go. We're going to go to 4. Here on my shifter, range selector and gear splitter. So anyway, one of the things I noticed without GPS is I do not tend to pay attention to the speed limit signs. Maybe there just aren't that many. So I'm really unsure on the speeds I'm allowed to go. Plus, you've got the whole problem of, well, truck speeds aren't always the same. And so I'm going to be getting on towards Graz. And I was going to look at, I'm allowed to go 70. Okay, let's go ahead and go to high. And we'll get on the road. So now my next one is the A1. Okay, so I'm on the A1 nach Salzburg. Next I'm going to be, it was not the first intersection. Oh, and I'm totally speeding. It was not the first intersection. It was the second intersection towards Graz. Right there, I think, actually. Let's see. That one's nach Nuremberg, Passau, and Graz. That is not what I want, I don't think. Hopefully that wasn't what I want. Man. Okay. So I want... Man, I feel definitely out of my element doing this GPS free. We'll have to see. So it's 2 in the afternoon and it's this dim. I think I need to mess with the brightness because that should not be that dim. So let's go. That's not what I wanted. I feel like it's like near evening. I've been messing with my screens trying to get them to match up to each other in regards to running soft TH. So I've got a triple head setup. And my middle monitor is a different model than the 2 outside ones, and so they're much brighter. And so I've been, anyway, messing with that, and now it feels like it's not daytime when it totally is. So we'll have to see if this gets me what I want. That's probably, maybe, is it just a dim day for some reason? It's not a cloudy day. Okay, let's go ahead and do a flyby. Cool. Now this one, I think, coming up is my turn. So we'll go ahead and kick out. Dang, I am so unsure. Nope, this is not my turn. This is one that's not on the map. Did I miss my turn? I did miss my turn. That's why it's being weird. So that one back there was my turn. Which means I'm going to have to go around. And that means I either need to turn around. I wonder if I can turn around at that fuel stop. It's not one of those. So I can go on the 150. I totally missed my turn. I'm going to have to leave the GPS on because this is not working out. And I'm going to have to do this, which means I am going to be hard-pressed to make my time. But we will make it. And it means we also got to take the really beautiful road that I'm kind of getting used to. So I'm going to leave my GPS on. Despite this truck not having a GPS, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. Part of me wonders, because I've got the little not able to go through the X's turned off. And a part of me wonders, like, what if I took that? Would I be able to maybe work my way back to where I started? But chances are I just end up falling through the floor and having to reload a save game anyway. So 7 hours and 9 minutes, and we have 7 hours and 49 until the delivery's due. We are going to be tight pressed to do this. So I don't want to get any speeding tickets because with the economy mod, that's going to probably kill any profit I would have made, even if I get just one. So we do not want that to happen. Speed limit is 80 through here, so I'm going to go ahead and crank it up a bit. I'm at 84 now, which should be slow enough not to get a speeding ticket, assuming I do not miss a speed limit sign. One of the things about this Euro truck, which does not happen on the American truck as much, is you almost never... Okay, just a second. I'm going to edit my... is that on American truck, you don't get stuck this way. Like on Euro truck, if you miss a turn, you kind of... That's too much. You know, you're not gonna get it back anytime soon. You end up having to drive the wrong direction for a really long time. Okay, so anyway, that's one thing I've noticed with Euro Truck is you miss that turn and, well, you're going to be driving that way for a while because it does not come back quickly. You know, I don't know if this is going to make much of a difference on the frame rate because, like almost always happens, I don't think the frame rate is... Oh, you know what? I can get turned around here though. Ooh, I did not look before I did that. So if I want to get turned around, you know, it'd be way faster to get turned around there. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do that. Anyway, at least with ProMods, oftentimes things are GPU or CPU bound instead of GPU bound. And so in this case I reduced the quality of the game, but I didn't actually gain any frame rates or any frames out of the deal because it's not GPU bound that's causing me problems. Sorry, I'm coming into this corner pretty quickly here, and it has caught my attention. Okay, so for that reason, since I'm not GPU bound, well, I'm barely holding 33 frames, so that's, man, for having dropped my quality significantly from the last time I streamed, I am not getting a lot better frames. I mean, last time I was streaming at quad HD. This time I'm streaming at, you know, I want to go back there. This time I'm streaming at ultra wide HD, so just 1080p with ultra wide, and I am not still, I mean, struggling to hold 30 frames, which is really quite surprising because I would not expect that to be the case. It does point towards it not necessarily being a GPU problem, but a CPU problem, because this is significantly less pixels than it was before. So, taking that into account, I may just tweak my settings here in just a second. Let's get up to speed, and we'll go ahead and... So if I drop into here, okay, so we're going to go options, graphics. I'm going to go ahead and bump it back to 300% scaling. But I'm going to jump. No, I'm going to leave that on high. $2560 by 1080. Okay, let's go ahead and do that and see how it comes out. Yes. Anyway, so the soft TH is an interesting experience. I'm still unsure on my side screen, so they're still doing the whole like angling down type thing, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get that to look the way I want it to. I've been messing with the field of view and whatnot, and it's just not coming out the way I want it to. And I'm not sure what to do about that. It seems like if I mess with anything too much, then it gets worse than the way it started. But with having an ultra wide in the middle and then just standard widescreens on the sides, I can't just do a standard setup. But I'm going with basically a 45-degree view angle on the sides, and then it ends up being like a 58-degree in the middle in order to be the same. I tried doing 50 and like 65, I think is what the math ended up being, but I think that the 45 and 58 actually looks better, and I've still got a wide enough angle that I can see all my mirrors and stuff at the same time, so that's okay. And it seems to look better, but it's still, I have the problem that, you know, it's straight across, and when it goes over there, suddenly it's like going downward, and I'm not sure which which part of it needs to be tweaked of the configuration in order to make that work. I did finally figure out how to use the multi-mon command, which is why this guy's up. But I'm struggling to get it to do what I want it to do. So I'll have to see if I can figure that out at some point. Again, it doesn't help much in the streams because what happens is, oh, that one's actually merging on. What happens is that most of you guys just wouldn't be able to see anyway, and it would just look like I'm not checking my mirrors and not being careful. Mom, I'm being careful. This is what I want. Okay. Anyway, but it's an interesting experience. I definitely was new to the idea multi-screen gaming on picking out these monitors, because I didn't realize that if all the monitors weren't the same, then NVIDIA's tools wouldn't work and stuff. And so SoftTH is working okay now that I finally figured it out, although I'm running into a problem with 64-bit version of ETS2, which, so I'm running this as 64-bit, and so it doesn't actually work on this, but which is okay right now. But if I ever want to do it on American Truck Simulator, I've got to get the 64-bit figured out, because ATS is all 64-bit. There's not a 32-bit option on that one. Plus, I'd rather play 64-bit so that it has the possibility of accessing more of my RAM if it needs to. ProMods and ProMods in particular is a pretty intensive mod. Adds a lot of functionality, but also takes up a lot of memory, I think. And so, I mean, I'm sitting at, I guess, 2.5 gigabytes of memory being used by Euro Truck right now, which isn't over the 4 gigabyte limit, so that's not the end of the world. But I would prefer to be doing 64-bit if that were a possibility. I read a thing, so I've been scouring forums and stuff trying to figure it out, because what happens is that it throws up on all 3 monitors like it's supposed to, but Euro Truck seems to only be seeing 1 monitor. What was... Oh. Must have just been the shadow of the mountain. Anyway, the thing that was interesting is it just shows on like my left monitor as well as partway into my center monitor. And I was reading a thing on a forum. One guy said, oh, well, you have to have Riva Tutor running, which I actually do have running, and that didn't fix it. So I don't think that's what the problem, or that's at least not the fix for me. But someone else mentioned that you actually have to rearrange the configuration of SoftTH, that for the 64-bit, oh, that is not what I wanted. For the 64-bit, for whatever reason, you can't list it as the primary first. You have to list it, you know what, I think I'm supposed to go over here. You have to list it as the left screen first, and then go from there. I usually don't come to the side one, but it looks like this is if you're a truck, you're supposed to come over here. So anyway, a lorry or a Lastkraftwagen is over here. So anyway, that's I might have found the answer, and so I'm actually a little anxious to try that out. We'll see how it ends up. And see if that fixes it, because if it is, then I can play this in 64-bit mode, and also I can play American Truck Simulator in triple head mode. So quite the more immersive experience. And I talked about this on my last stream as well, or on my recording that wasn't a stream actually, that I've been looking at getting like a Rift. Vive, from what I've read, is kind of a better experience, but it's heavier, and so if you're wearing it for a long time, it can get heavy. That's one of the reviews I read. Also, Rift is about $200 cheaper, so you know that's also a plus. But I've been looking at getting an Oculus Rift specifically for Euro Truck, an American truck simulator. But one of the problems with that is I won't be able to see my screen. Like, I won't be able to see my steering wheel, I won't be able to see my shifter, which means I've got to work blind more or less to get to the controls. And so if I don't have those down really, really well, then it's not going to work so well. With a triple head setup, that's not a problem. I'm able to see my controls, but also have a fairly surround sound experience going on. So that's actually kind of exciting. I guess what I need to do is get a 6 head going. Then I can, you know, not really. One of the things that I've noticed with the triple head, and I've seen other people mention it too, but it's definitely a problem, is that you can't really see the dash, because your field of view, as it becomes more normal, so in this view it's all squished in order to get more on the screen. Once you go into a triple head view, then it gets spread out more like it's supposed to, and you don't see the dash anymore. And so one of the setups they do is with 4 screens, where you've got one on bottom that's displaying your dash readout. What I found I was doing is, let's do that. One of the things I was doing was actually just putting the seat in the truck as far down as possible, and then and scooting the seat back as far as possible. That was close. Scooting the seat back as far as possible so I can get at least the top of my gauges. So what I was able to get on the truck that I first tried it on was, from about 20 kilometers around to 100 kilometers an hour on the speedometer, and from about 500 RPM to 2500 RPM, which is all I really, which is all I really need, because I'm not going to go outside of that, or I shouldn't be. And so that wasn't too big of a problem. Sorry, I just had something beep at me, and I don't actually know what it was that beeped. Anyway, so that was kind of what I was looking at, and I'm not really in the market for another screen right now, although I guess another screen would be cheaper than an Oculus Rift probably, depending on the screen. But that could be a possibility, is go ahead and do a 4-screen option. And do that where I can see the dashboard, but depending on the truck, the other way worked pretty well. I was actually noticing in maybe it was a DAF truck, the way the dash was laid out, I couldn't hardly see anything. So it's not perfect, and it would depend on the truck. I guess I could just, not get a truck that it's a problem on. In the test environment I'm in, I'm still in quick drive mode. I'm not doing the economy mod because it's just a test environment. But one thing I did do is with this UI mod at the top, at least I could see some of the information. I can see my speed, I can see what gear I'm in, that kind of thing. Although I wish there was a little more information, like maybe be able to throw a tachometer up in the corner or something. So if anybody wants to make a mod that does that, I think that would be awesome. But the other option is to get another screen that's down at the bottom. So I may have seen something where someone had like a tablet or something down there, and I'm not sure if there's a program that would then display that, or if they made kind of a custom setup to do it with. I really don't know. Sorry, I'm going to pause for just 1 second here, and I'm going to scroll to the top here. Okay, so I don't know if that's what they did, is if they wrote themselves a custom app, if there's an app out there, or how they did that. Actually, that's not something I saw or I looked into. I just saw that they had it. Oh, and here is my turn. crap. And my screen just locked out again. Huh. So I read somewhere that that might be an effect of my overclocked GPU. So maybe it's time to scale that back a little bit. Because I do have a custom overclock on my graphics card, and maybe that's actually what's causing this issue. So I'm gonna scale this back a little bit. See if maybe I can stop that from happening anymore. Because that makes twice already that I've had the game crash, which is definitely not a good place to be. And now I'm back into widescreen mode again because I forgot to launch it this way. I gotta make sure I do 64-bit. Okay, let's continue that. Sorry, we've got about a minute and a half of load time here. Anyway, yeah, so the soft triple head is really a good option, especially for those of us who just, don't want to throw the money at, don't have the money to throw at a standard triple head where they're all identical. But that is why I went ahead and dropped the resolution, because as I was playing around with it, my GTX 1060 could not keep up with that many pixels. On the triple head setup, my final resolution is, what was it, 8,800 by 1440, so it's a lot of pixels. If I dropped down to 1080p, it handled it pretty well actually, and was able to play pretty smoothly. So that wasn't bad, but at the full resolution it was really juddery, and at first I thought I was like, oh, this is a really bad experience, and then I dropped the resolution and it helped a lot. But with the experience I'm having right now, I don't think that I'd be able to stream very well in a triple head anyway, because I'm struggling a little bit to hold it above 30 frames even as it is. Now I could always lower the scaling or something to help make up the difference, but I guess that would be an option. Anyway, really sad that I that I streamed the first 10 minutes without any audio. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody on that, because there was, my microphone was muted. So because I don't like to just watch people drive. I like the video game vlog idea where there's commentary and stuff, not just this is me driving and not saying anything. So anyway, I've talked about it before, but I still haven't heard anything from CSIO Technologies on my SKRS order that I've told them I want canceled. My bank has currently given me my money back, but I don't know whether that's a permanent thing at this point. So the nice thing is that I have heard from Paul over at Tech Affliction about my Mega Shifter, and so I think I'm going to be a lot happier with that choice. Since I'm actually getting a response on it. And it's just, I hear about people, so I'm here in the US, and I hear about people across the sea and stuff, out in Australia in one case, and Europe in another, where they're in the same boat I was, except they don't really have anything they can do about it. Like, they're across the pond. How are they gonna, that's not what I meant. They're across the pond, so what are they going to do as a recourse to get their money back? And so at least I'm able to, use some of the things we have here in the U.S., the Better Business Bureau and whatnot, to file complaints. Even if it doesn't do anything in the end, maybe it'll keep others from making the same mistake I did. And also that's why want to speak out as much as possible on this because their business practices are just not okay, not ethical, not a good business model, even if you throw aside ethics, because you end up with customers that are just frustrated and never get a product that they paid for. So I hope that word gets out, and I hope that either they do something to fix it or people stop ordering from them, because I don't want everybody to keep making the same mistake over and over again when it's a known problem. They seem to be a known problem entity right now. Ooh, I'm totally speeding. I'm gonna get a wreck in the tunnel, and that's probably pretty good. So anyway, they're a known bad quantity at this point, and I think that they should be avoided. And anybody who doesn't know that they should be avoided probably ought to get told. And so I'm doing my best to keep getting the word out there and to give kudos to Paul. Now at this point, I'm assuming I'm going to get my. Sorry, that's interesting. Apparently, I'm hearing cars on the other side of the tunnel. Probably because in the game it's just programmed. It's sound is not programmed to bounce off of it, so you end up hearing it. Anyway, that's just interesting. So anyway, and assuming I get it next week, like I assume, Paul over at Tech Affliction said that he's assembling it this week and it should go out next week. Assuming he's accurate on that, then I'm happy enough with that. I mean, it's no Amazon Prime, but it's a custom order, handmade, whatever. And so, dang, I keep hitting that. Sorry, I keep hitting my range selector button when I'm shifting and ending up in the really wrong gear. Okay, I don't see anybody over there. Let's go ahead and merge over. Looks like it's time to turn up my... oh, and we are almost there. Okay. Anyway, it's... I'm happy with the turnaround that I got out of him. Way happier than out of CSIO, and especially with his communication. I mean, there was about a week there where I didn't hear anything, but as soon as he started assembly, I got an email saying, "Hey, I'm assembling yours this week, and you should have it shipped out by the end of the week." So at least he's communicating with me as his customer instead of feeling like he's too busy to tell me what's up. I mean, and I've said this I don't know how many times. If CSIO had just communicated with me, I probably wouldn't have been nearly so miffed. But they didn't. And I think there's lots of people who are in the same boat. That if they had just had communication, then they probably wouldn't have gotten so upset with him. Although there was one guy who said he hired his back, or he ordered his back in January, and still hasn't received it. So I think at some point, communication only goes so far. But some communication is oodles better than no communication. So, I'm totally. So anyway, I do not see a place that I've got to check in at. Oh, right there. There's my check-in. My last delivery, I forgot to check in before I went, and I got over to where all the deliveries are supposed to happen. I was like, where's my spot? Let's go in and talk. We're going to go ahead and we will go all the way. So just looking at that layout, not knowing what's back there. Probably want to actually... Yeah, I probably want to... Okay. So I think I'm going to go in there and then do a big loop to the left and back it in. We'll see how this works. Anybody who's watched me before knows I'm not an amazing trailer backer, so we'll see how this goes. No, I think I picked up a trailer from... No, because I haven't been to Graz before. Okay, well, I picked up a trailer. Let's go ahead and just put on our hazards at this point. Okay. Yep, I think my idea is going to work. We'll see. We're going to go ahead and loop around like this. And then we will loop around like this. Okay, so now we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to give it one try from an internal standpoint. I think that's centered, right? Nope. Okay. I need to bring it in more. I'm having a hard time telling. We are... Okay, we're gonna... I said I was gonna give it one try, but we're gonna give it another try here. Okay. So I need to go ahead and crank it hard. Bring that trailer around. And then we will start coming out of it, I think. I think I went in too steep. Oh, maybe not. I might actually be doing okay. And did I hit the wall yet? I did kill the engine, so I think I hit the wall. Yep, I totally hit the wall. Okay. So, we're gonna go. Okay, and then we will try and crank it in there more. How am I looking over there? Okay. I am like way farther in there than I needed to be, huh? So what did they want me to do? Might still be able to salvage this. Okay. Oh, am I that close, really? Or are they just not that picky? They're just not that picky. We can do it better than this. Okay. Let's serpentine out of here. Okay. And now we will back out. And I think I just made it worse. Okay. We got to serpentine out a little more. Okay, so we're gonna come like this. And use up what space we have over here. We've got this. Okay, we are gonna get this. And I went over too much, so we're gonna pull it out a bit. Ah, and I finally killed it. And there we go. And follow it back here. Okay, how does that look? That looks way better than we started, and I'll be happy with that, I guess. And it stopped raining in the meantime. Okay. Sadly, the $105 I made is less than the $170 charge I got for running the red light when the video crapped out. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, first delivery down, and we are about an hour in, huh? Let's go ahead and see if we can find another similar length delivery. We'll go ahead and do that. So I'm still at level 4. I've got a while before I'm going to be able to buy my own truck. That's okay. It gives me a chance to buy more truck or to drive more trucks, I guess. I've got a DAF, another DAF. I haven't driven the Super Space, the XF105, but I have driven the Euro 6. Those are so short, though. I'm not going to make anything on them. So let's get up into something that's at least $100. Is there anything that's like $200? To Budapest, huh? I could do that. Wien to Budapest. That could be cool. Head over into Hungary. We could do it with... Oh, I haven't done a Renault truck. You know what? Let's do this. I haven't done a Renault, so we're going to go from Linz to Győr. That sounds like a good option. And we will head over to Hungary. Okay, so let's take a look here. Not a really long one. I do have dual drivers, which last heavy load I had was not, so that's a plus. Decent length, but not overly long. And it was 21 tons. So let's see. On these Renaults, I think they use the ZF trannies as well. So let's see what we've got. Not cabin adjustments. We'll probably diagnostics. So I have a 12-speed opted driver. With a retarder, huh? Okay, well, I think I'm currently on a ZF12 speed, so that should be just fine. So let's go ahead and get it started. I'm going to take a quick screenshot here. Just in case I forget to do another one. Okay. Do that guy. Let's get on the road here. Okay. So, based off the map there, I'm going to be exiting out over there. So, oh, I didn't have my parking brake on. Now I do. Or now I don't again. So this is a heavier load than last time. Oh, I did not look. How big is my engine? So, 480? We'll see. This might be a bit slow of a load. But that's okay. Okay. And then I will be hanging a left out here, huh? Get my engine brake engaged. No one coming that way, no one coming that way. So one of the weird things about the ZF is the up over up instead of you know, over and down or something like that. I feel like first should start down here, which is actually how the Scanias are. So maybe, you know, somebody did it right. These ZFs are just kind of a little weird of a layout. Oh, dang it. Well, there went any money I made on this trip. So I guess our goal now is to not lose any more money, because there's a good chance that we could do that. Gotta remember that this is a heavy load. I gotta start slowing down sooner. And I've got to avoid any speeding, so I could have swung past that. Are there any other question marks I want to swing past on this trip that I could? It's a little late for that one. Been there before. Oh, okay. There's like an Audi dealership over here. Look at that. That's probably just a hire a driver here place, looking at the location. Anyway, 170 euro down the drain. That's as much as I'm gonna make this whole drive. Oh, that was so close. I still almost lost another 120 euro or 170 euro. My seat rolled back as I slammed on the brakes, so okay, let's get to where we can see over here. Oh, must have killed the engine. Okay. Oh, I don't have a gear over there. I was close on that trailer. Oh, I wanted to stay there for high. Okay, 80, and we're going to be taking the first exit over here. Okay. And then... And... Dang it. That is not what I'm supposed to be taking. Oh, and I am not getting any brakes out of this thing. I might have to change seats here. Ah, crap. You know what? I'm gonna go swing by there. I'll take this opportunity, I guess. Apparently I should have gone to 3 high. I'm definitely getting nothing out of this brake though. I guess it is a pretty heavy load. You know what? I've got a retarder. I've got to remember my retarder. Okay, retarder makes a lot of difference. There we go. Oh well, I just wanted to come see what this question mark was over here. That's actually why I was going this way. Yeah, something like that. And if you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. But I don't have either of those. And apparently I'm losing speed. So we're gonna go into 4 high. Man, this is kind of underpowered for this load. But we will get through this. We will get through this. So, what's our little question mark up here? Recruiting office. Not too surprising. Okay, we're gonna make this green and not run through the next red. You know what, I'm just going to prepare to stop because chances are I am not going to make... we're going for it. We're going for it. We made it. I did not think we were going to make that. Okay, so now we're not going to make that same mistake again, right? I need to get rid of... Why is it... oh, I guess it's just because it was part of it earlier. I don't know why it's telling us to do that again. That's weird. Okay, so this one is not our exit. We go straight. Sadly, I'm finally getting some speed, only in time to start slowing down again. I think this is where I got the idea that I didn't like any of the trucks but the Volvo, because the Volvo comes with, like, its smallest engine is more powerful than like the bottom 2 engines of a lot of the manufacturers on the game, and so it was like, well, why would I do that when I can, for the same price, buy a truck with a bigger engine? But other than the fact that it's a little underpowered, This truck's fine. I mean, there's no problem with it. I also assume this is why people make the 750 horsepower mod for all manufacturers. Or the 750 horsepower engine for all manufacturers mod, because they don't want Volvo to be the only one that has all the power. Anyway, so I guess I can understand that, although the mod I have in sets the Volvo trucks to be what the mod claims is the correct power outputs and transmissions, which is a lot cooler. I think I would rather have it be. I don't want the 1,000 horsepower truck that's so overpowered compared to what a real truck would be. That's not what I'm playing the game for. If I wanted to do that, I'd go play, you know, iRacing or Project Cars or something like that. That's not what I'm looking for in this. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on that, I guess. I play this kind of to relax and just truck along, so that's something that this gives me. Let's see, nope, my lights are not on. Okay, go ahead and head along here. Get along, little doggy. We have 3 hours left on our delivery. Game time, not stream time, no worries. And then we get to practice backing again. Really, that's one of the things that I want to work on more than anything, but I have a hard time. I guess what I could do is, that would be an interesting thing if I got to my delivery early. I could just practice backing. Now, I don't think I necessarily want to do that on a live stream here, but as far as personal goes, if I get to a location and it's, you know, an hour or 2 hours early or whatever, then I can sit there and I can back in and pull out and back in and pull out and practice doing it, because that's the only way I'm going to get better. So I'm holding speed pretty well on the flat Autobahn. We'll see how I do if I get any kind of a hill in it, but in this area it's going pretty well. Oh, watched an interesting, so I watched a video today on YouTube, and I don't remember exactly, it was Diesel someone or other, anyway, but it was real trucking versus ATS, and that is my exit, right? Okay, that is my exit. Okay. And he talked about some of the differences, and one of them was, and I didn't know why they did this. I actually thought it was for a different reason. But most trucks, at least American trucks, and I don't know whether European trucks do this, but I'm going to guess they do. American trucks have the fifth wheel. It can slide, so it can slide forward and backwards. And my understanding is the way you do that is you latch onto a trailer, and then you release the latch on it, and you pull forward or backwards depending on how you need to pull in order to get it in the position you want it to be. And I always assumed that it was, you know, well, you probably just want it as far forward as you can get it for aerodynamics purposes. I didn't really look into it. But what the guy said is that it's actually a matter of balancing the weight, because you're only allowed to have so much weight on each axle, which I did know. Only as I think the max is like 12,000 on your driving axle. And then 36,000 on each of the other sets of tandems, I think is what it is. But that doesn't quite add up. 35,000, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to add up a little more than 80. But maximum weight of 80,000 and a maximum of 36,000 on your set of tandems and a maximum of 12,000 on the driving wheels or something to that effect. And so you slide it forward and backwards in order to get the balance you need, which makes sense. It isn't something I thought about. I mean, if you can move it 3 feet. I don't know how far it can move it. Then you're shifting the weight of your load forward or backwards accordingly. And so it would make a lot of difference there. So I'm only rendering at 28.6 frames per second. I'm wondering why that is. I really don't know the quality on this, how this one's going to be. I've done a certain, I've done the ultra wide quad HD as the main game, and then downsampling to and only cutting out the center of it to make a 1920 by 1080 video. And I've done that for a while now, and it's worked pretty well. And I guess that I just thought that, well, if I drop that down, then it's only going to get better, right? That's what I thought, and apparently it's not. I don't know. When I look at the stats for OBS, it's just not all that great. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it afterwards and see what the end result is. Oh no, I do want to go this way. See what the end result is. Whether I've dropped a lot of frames, how the resolution looks. Because, I'm only doing 30 frames at 1080p. It shouldn't be that difficult to encode. And I purposely didn't encode with the CPU because I've already had problems with the CPU getting overburdened in heavy city areas and stuff. And so I didn't want to add more load to it. But it may not be making a difference anyway, so I guess I could have encoded with the CPU and maybe it would be turning out better, but I've been encoding with the GPU for a while now and had fairly good luck with it. I'm streaming at a high enough bit rate that the quality is still high despite using the hardware encoder. And I missed my turn. I totally just missed my turn. Now I'm going to have to wait. How long before I can turn around? Well, apparently I wasn't supposed to take that exit. It totally looked like I was supposed to take that exit. This GPS. Okay. Well, so if I go down here, if I have to go all the way down here, well, if I have to go this far, it's still going to be faster to go back. 4 hours. Okay. If I go around, (6 hours and 12 minutes). And then I have, you know what, I'm going to do that. I've got lots of time. I've got lots of time before delivery. So let's go ahead and, I did this all on purpose. And then we will also, it's not worth it. Okay. We're going to explore Hungary a little bit. I don't think I've ever driven in Hungary, so in-game, in real life, I know I haven't, but in-game, I don't think I have either. So hopefully I'll finish this now. I've got 6 hours of driving time instead of 3 hours until I make the delivery. Hopefully I can finish this in the allotted stream time. We'll see. Man, I really need to watch those corners better. Anyway, I guess once you go to the triple head setup, you almost need to go to a quad head where you've got the dashboard down below you so you can look down at it. Although that's, I don't know, maybe I've got a monitor somewhere that I could, got an old TV, but I don't think it'd fit in that space. I could throw down there so I could have a dashboard, but what I was thinking about doing is just enabling the Tobii eye tracker, and then I could glance down and up at it pretty quickly. Make it where the Tobii doesn't control the sideways movement at all, just the down and up. But I don't know, that we'll see how it works out, I guess. And again, I still need to troubleshoot why it's not working in 64-bit. Because with New Mexico coming out last week, I'm probably going to be playing some more American truck. I actually am really more excited than just for the extra map. I'm really excited for the random encounters that are going to be happening. That actually, I think, is going to be really cool. Add a lot to the game instead of always having, you know, oh, you have construction just in this area on the map and it's always in this area of the map, and you know, have random construction zones and things like that could go a long way to increase immersion. So with that, if I can't get the 64-bit triple head set up, I'll probably just play it on the single head. I don't know. But if I could get the triple head set up, that'd be really nice. Oh, apparently I'm tired. That's not my character yawning, that's me. Okay, this is our turn. Not going to miss this turn because we're going to be way out of the way if I miss this turn. I do not think we'll make it in time in that case. Okay, so we are going to look this way so we can see how close our trailer is over there. It's just a yield setup, and it looks like we are free to go. Let's do some brights while we can. Speed limit of 70, huh? So I think I'm not going to make it into 8 high on this one. Or maybe I will. Ooh. Got a corner coming up already, huh? Oh, this one's not too bad. Well, this next one might be worse. There we go. This is a much windier road than the one I just came off of, so. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna kick up the retarder a bit. Drop into 5 low. Back to 5 high. I shouldn't need gas. You know what? I think I do need gas. Okay. Stop the engine. Okay. We'll fill it all the way up. I don't have to pay for it anyway, so. And €509, which is good because that would, like, you know, break the bank almost. Is everybody telling me to turn my brights off? Yeah, that's what it is. I was like, everybody's like, now I don't have to worry about running out of fuel. Apparently I could have slept there as well. I will end up sleeping before this day is done, before this delivery is done. But I don't think I'm ready for that yet. One of the other things the video I watched, the guy talked about a lot is, you don't rev trucks up that high. I see, I'm actually watching some older or some older videos, getting caught up on a YouTube personality that I quite enjoy his videos on. But one of the things that keeps standing out is just how high he revs his engines, and he's actually better than he used to be. He's improved some, but that was something I was aware of, that you don't rev big trucks up that much, and so that's bugged me from the beginning. In the beginning, he was always shifting at like 2,500 RPM, just wrapping it out there. Now he shifts at about 2,000 RPM, so he's doing better than he was, but most trucks are about 1,500 RPM, maybe 16 or even 17, and that's pushing it, like, for most of them. And if you look at the torque curves when they list the engines, that's exactly what it shows, is, peak torque is 1,100 to 1,500 RPM, or 1,100 to 1,400. And so there's no reason really to take it beyond that, because once you're out of your torque peak, pretty much, once you're out of your torque peak, you might as well go to the next gear. Technically, it's your horsepower peak, but your horsepower peaks shortly after your torque peak, so so they should really be, and on these big trucks, they're designed to be one and the same, because there's no reason to just keep revving them beyond that. Anyway, so I try to, except for once in a while when using it, an engine braking capability, I really try to just keep my gear shifts at 1,500-1,600 RPM. Now this guy specifically seems to be designed for more like 1,600 on the shifts. That's where the green ends, and that makes me wonder, if I go look at the diagnostics, does it tell me in there? Oh, see, and even there it says 1,400 RPM. I might as well shift at 14. So so the 1,500 I've been shifting at is probably more than enough, since I'm past the torque peak at that point, although that's probably about where the horsepower peak is, hence where the green goes to. But anyway, so that's kind of one of the things. I strive for as much realism as I can now, obviously, and in fact, I find myself wishing now, if I had a wish, I wish SCS would be able to just make the game 1-to-1 scale, not 20-to-1, 1-to-1. And I understand there would probably be a whole lot of this, just in between where it's fairly boring. But I would like, 10-to-1 or 5-to-1, like these little towns where they're in there, you can't actually go to them because the scale of the game doesn't allow you to do it. I'm very much a simulationist, I guess, in a lot of games that I play, and so for me, the ability to just go around at full scale would be really cool, even if you ended up with lots of empty space that wasn't all that interesting. I think, I don't know, maybe you can make a compromise and say, well, 5-to-1 or 10-to-1 or something like that, where it really does give you the space to fit in all the cool stuff, but isn't quite 1-to-1. Although one of my games I like to play, although I haven't played in a while, is Silent Hunter 5? Silent Hunter 5, yeah. Although I play it modded up, and it's a simulator, and it very much, you can play it at 1-to-1 time. Now I usually have speed up options, which would be an option here as well, although that would be hard to do because there's not, on the open ocean, you can go ahead and speed up time and you're not likely to run into anybody anytime soon. Whereas with a trucking simulator, you're kind of, trucking across the road, so it's not as open and just empty as the ocean is, so maybe it wouldn't work so well. But something like 5-to-1 or 10-to-1 even, where you just get more detail in there, would actually be really neat. It would also make it where it took a whole lot longer to explore everything. You know, you'd be going twice as long to explore the whole map, and you could have twice as many towns in between, where you could pick up jobs and drop off jobs, and I think it would add a lot more immersion to the game. On the same note, STS has probably done a lot of research, you know, and found that, well, you go too much one-to-one and you lose a lot of people. So fun game, whatever the case. Not for everybody, obviously. Simulators never are, but I enjoy it wholeheartedly. Well, in the end, this detour I took isn't so bad. I kind of wish I could have seen all of this in the sun in the daytime. Look at that. It's always sunflowers over there. You know, not much to see when you're trucking across Hungary at night. But still, 2.5 hours out. Looks like there's some kind of a factory over there. You got some farms. Szeged and Bakes. I have no clue how Hungarian is, and apparently either I kicked it out of Cruise or this is more of a hill than I think it is. I have no way how to pronounce, or I have no idea how to pronounce Hungarian, so do not judge me by my Hungarian pronunciation, please. I mean, you can judge me. I mean, that's what everybody judges everybody else, but don't judge me too harshly by my Hungarian pronunciation, because I do not know Hungarian. So the only foreign language I do know is German, and as such I say everything like it would I attempt to say it like it would be said in German, because that's my foreign language. When I was, let's see, my freshman year in college, when I was in the National Guard, we went and spent 2 weeks in Nicaragua. Fun time, anyway. And I attempted while I was there. I knew no Spanish, still know next to no Spanish, so that hasn't changed. But I tried to learn a few Spanish words and stuff from the kids who were running around. And what I ended up doing is I'd learn, well, what's horse? Oh, it's caballo. And then I would just throw caballo into a German sentence, and it didn't really accomplish it. It was like, no, everything else in my head is German, and I threw a Spanish word in there, which is not Spanish by any means. And so that's what I find myself doing anytime I look at a foreign language now, because in my mind German is my foreign language, and so then I end up just saying a German, or at least in my mind. I usually don't say it out loud because I realize what I'm doing, but in my mind it's a German sentence with a couple of Spanish words thrown in there because, well, that's what I know. Anyway, I thought that was a car on the side of the road for a second. I was like, whoa. Anyway, and here's my exit coming up, so let's go ahead and start. And it looks like it's going to be a left turn exit. We're going to start engaging my retarder here, and that means I need to get hey. Okay. Yeah, you're getting too tired too, huh, buddy? I'm not gonna run this red light. Well, look, the retarder's on the opposite side in this truck from what I'm used to on the Volvos. Oh, dang it. Okay, let's turn a little bit so I can see it better. Oh my, I am like to the line. Okay. Gonna go ahead and put on the parking brake. Last thing I want to do is roll over this line and end up with another $170 ticket. Oh, you know what? I also ought to put on my turning signal because that's where I want to go. Okay, looks like I might get there soon. That guy totally ran over the red light. I hope he got €170 fine. Because he should have. And I am not gonna get a green light. There we go. Apparently I undershifted a bit on those because I couldn't see my tachometer. Okay. Now, interestingly, on a real vehicle, I'd be able to feel as the power starts to let off and shift accordingly. I hate that people just like hang out on at the exit ramp. It's like, no, you don't do that. You match your speed and merge. Like, problem with the AI. In fact, before you go 10-to-1 SCS, fix the merging artificial intelligence, and I would be a happier camper. Because it ends up going both ways. One where I end up getting stuck on an on-ramp because they're waiting for someone who's way back there or whatever. And then you also have people who like slam on their brakes behind me for no reason because they could have just merged into the other lane or slowed down just a little bit and they would have been just fine. Okay, we are going to find a place to stop, I guess, before I end up falling asleep at the wheel. Or, you know, more importantly, getting a fine. How long do I have here? 22 minutes before I start getting fined, huh? That is not good. So where can I stop? I probably... Oh, right there. Ooh, right there. Okay. We are going to make this. Yes. Parking in 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters. Oh, have I mentioned on this channel yet that I sure wish we in the US would go to metric, go to the standard? It's just the fact that we're still using the imperial system is just stupid. It's stupid, really. There's no reason in the world, in today's world, to be using a standard system when everybody else is using metric. It's a better system, everybody else is using it, and they're all using it for a reason. They're using it because it's easier. Okay, so I need to come... Question is whether I can get parked before I get a ticket. So we are going to come right over here. And we'll kill my lights. And get some rest. That was close. I almost ended up with a fine on that one. Okay, I've got 51 minutes left. And they expect it in 1 hour and 43 minutes, so I am good to go. Okay. Oh, apparently I started it in gear. There we go. Okay. I do wish, and maybe that's going to be part of the dynamic, but I wish that, you know, if you went... I think all these trucks are hard programmed into these stops, but I wish that they would have those generated so that, you know, when I show up and there's a truck there, then when I exit, the truck's not still there because, you know... Oh. Why is the truck there so long? I mean, I obviously just had my 10-hour break or whatever it was, and they're still there. So either they're a lot lazier than I am, or they're just there always. But it would be great if I, you know, go to sleep and there's one truck there, and then when I wake up there's different trucks there, or no trucks there, or whatever the case is. I think that would be an interesting change to the game to mix things up a little bit. Man, this must be a hill because I am not gaining speed very quickly here. So is this another one that I lost money on this trip, huh? Because I didn't stop in time for that red light. Maybe I should. That's okay. So I'm losing like $70 a trip here because I keep running a red light tickets and only making about $100 a trip, 100 euros, and then ending up getting paid, you know, paying 170 euros in fines and tickets or whatever, and only making 100 euros, and so I'm actually coming out behind. I take little solace that maybe once I get to, you know, level 8, which I'm slowly working my way there, and I think I'll get there before I run out of money, we'll see, then maybe I can buy a truck and at that point make a little better money. I'm afraid that what's actually going to happen is that it's so much more expensive to own a truck that I, you know, if I get in an accident, then now I have to pay for that instead of my employer paying for that, and maybe it's going to not work out in my favor, but we'll see. Go ahead and turn off the retarder. Okay, so I will be making a left up here. Man, I've dropped down to about 30 frames. Győr isn't even a very big town, it doesn't look like, and it's dropping frames nonetheless. I wonder if it could be like something like, I've got a truck physics mod on. Maybe that's what, you know, a physics mod, maybe that's what's doing it. Maybe all the extra traffic and it has to figure physics for all of them. I don't even know if it does physics for them or not. Looks like it's this Tesco is my stop. And I stalled. Okay. It's trying to tell me to put... Is there... Okay. So where am I supposed to be putting this guy? He's probably over there, huh? My guess is it's over there. Which means that I need a pool. Well, I can do that. Not that. I can turn off the... engine brake now. Is there anything over here? So it's acting like it's pointing over here, but it's probably just... It's got to be back there that it wants to go. Okay, so we're gonna work off that assumption. I'm currently just below the 2-hour mark, so we should be good to do this. Please do not hit these cars. I cannot afford to hit these cars. Oh. And I'm too far around. Dang. I did not watch my mirrors enough there. Okay, so I came into that guy too sharp. Okay, something like that. And then we are going to go... Okay, so we've got around this first bend. I've got a truck parked over there somewhere. I don't have a place marked out over there. What? Where am I supposed to deliver this guy? I guess it is supposed to be over there. And here I did such a good job. I will credit Squirrel with that, by far. Those trucking how to back a trailer videos were awesome, by the way. I've still got a long way to come, but they were a great start. Oh, right here. There we go. Haha. And now they're going to tell me to take it back there. It's okay, we can do this. And we're going to make this easier this time, actually. It's going to be easier this time. So we're going to pull in straightways for part of it. close are we here? Oh, we're still quite close, actually. Okay, that's really close to jackknifing at this point. But the nice thing about these cab overs is it's not. So we will go ahead and pull around here. And then I am going to just go swing this way, and then swing that way, and pull straight forward. Or actually mostly straight forward. And we will make this straight forward. Oh, look at that. How's it looking over there? We're doing okay. Oh, wrong way. We're gonna start bringing it around, actually. How are we looking? We've got lots of room. I think we're gonna make this. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring it in a little more. Ooh, that's a little bit too close there. So let's go ahead and straighten it out just a bit. I did get it close to that building, though. I still think I got it too close to that building. Oh man, look at that. Oh man. Okay. I'm nicking that building, actually. Okay, so I actually need to turn it away from that building a little bit. Okay. Come on. Am I hitting it? I am hitting it. Okay. Okay. Oh, wrong way. I'll tell you what, I got that a lot closer than I thought I ever would have. And as I said before, I credit that to Squirrel and his trucking school video on how to back a trailer. Oh, except now I'm That's okay. We'll straighten this up. Okay. Okay. So I was only, sad part is I was only like a few degrees off on that back too, because they do want it really, really close to this building. I just was a little too close. And I'm getting off now. Dang. Yeah. Okay. I am actually really happy with that. And I even did it from first person. Booyah. Although I don't... Oh, it's not so bad. €133 made, 170 lost. But I gained a level, so that's not the end of the world. Okay, we are going to go... We're going to get some more high value cargo. No. We're going to get... Let's open up more options here. Actually, you know, it's interesting because in the base game, the eco driving doesn't matter much, but with the mod, it might actually make a difference. Now we're going to go. We're going to go up here. I'm going to open up... We're going to open up just-in-time deliveries. It probably won't help me much because I tend to take the wrong way and just-in-time may not be my thing. But there we go. Well, hopefully that quality stayed up better than I looks like it did. Thanks anybody who comes and sees this later. It looks like I did have a couple of people who tuned in briefly. Thanks for joining. And until next time.